Hello, and welcome to my brief video on the Graham-Richmond teaching style, EDTL 8101, Transformative Learning and Teaching in an E-Learning Environment. My name is Raylene Gardiner, and I'm a doctoral student at the University of West Indies Open Campus. I have been teaching online for the past 7 years to undergraduate students in hospitality and tourism courses. It is a privilege for me to teach in this type of setting and empower students to learn about the industry that I so love. It was a profound pleasure for me to do the Gresham-Richmond Teaching Styles Survey. It was also amazing when I saw my results, which I do believe is in line with who I am as a facilitator. So let's get started. What is the Gresham-Richmond teaching style? The Gresham-Richmond teaching style survey assesses the learning styles employed by teachers. According to Gresham, 1996, teaching style affects how teachers present information, interact with students, supervise coursework. Let's take a look at the sample of a Gresham-Richmond teaching style. There are 5 types of teaching style as identified by Gresham. 1. The expert, a transmitter of information. Formal. 2. Formal authority sets standards. 3. Personal model, teaches by direct example. 4. Facilitator, guides by asking questions, exploring options. 5. Delegator, develops students' ability to function autonomously. To some degree, every teacher possesses each one of these 5 teaching styles. To some of these degrees, they vary and are often blended into our teaching styles. Let's take a close look at my result from the survey. As you see, after the survey was taken, it indicates that I gained the highest point under the formal authority, which was 4.00, which is one who's always set standards for teaching. Typically, this is the way that I operate in every aspect of my life, but especially in my teaching practices. I do believe that in order for students to be focused and gain the optimum advantages in learning, standards has to be set from the onset. This, in my estimation, makes students more comfortable and self-directed while they learn. This teaching style requires more feedback from the students and is focused on objectives and goals. But a disadvantage of this style is that teachers become more rigid and less flexible. To be honest, I sometimes find myself in that type of way by the way that I present myself and the many times that I tend to be very rigid because in my mind, the only thing above anything else is that the students reach their optimum goals and objective while learning. As we take a closer look in the graph format, there seems to be some equality in the scores of 3.88 as an expert, personal, model, and facilitator. And here you can see on this chart how they are charted out. All of which were explained at the beginning of the video, what are their meanings. And just so everyone could know, I'll go over them again. An expert is a transmitter of information. Personal model teaches by direct example, and a facilitator guides by asking questions. Let's take a look at the pie chart. all of which were explained in the video. But as we look at the pie chart, we can see how there's a disparity in the delegator score, which is less than all of the teaching style scores. It is 3.61. So what does this mean? What does it tell me as a facilitator? What areas am I lacking? I think I lack the art of allowing students to work and learn autonomously, which sometimes is necessary for students to learn to assess their own learning curves. So this is something that I have to look up within myself and see ways that I can improve in this area. If I had scored evenly with this, as with the other styles, it would have been a balance for me in my mind with the teaching styles. But it seems like there's the disparity in the numbers with the delegator, and I need to focus more on being a delegator as a teacher. Sometimes that is not easy, especially when you're used to teaching in your own way and fashion. But if you want to get the most out of each student, you have to change your teaching styles. Let's move along. So, what did I learn from this exercise? And this is a very good exercise. Is that I saw my strengths and weaknesses in my teaching style as a facilitator and the way that I teach. It highlighted the areas that I needed to improve on. And it required more improvements and review the definitions of each teaching styles. I would need to aim to develop myself in these areas as I develop in my teaching professional career and learning. So there's some need for more growth in certain areas. This survey was a way for me to be transparent with who I am as a facilitator, and I am so grateful that I was able to participate in this type of survey. I do believe as a facilitator, we should seek to regularly assess ourselves and the way we teach. This would make us more accountable not only to ourselves but to our students. And that's who we aim to please. Because as we develop, we are able to develop and provide learning growth tools for our students. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for taking the time to view this video. And it was much of a learning curve, not only for me, and I hope it was for you also. Thank you and good evening.